Hello. So here we are in the eighth video of this series, this little mini series on working with fictional characters who show up in your dreams, and wanted to talk about how to actually do it. So we've sort of been over that a little bit, a couple of examples. So one is using active imagination. So when these fictional characters show up, then when you're awake, to get in kind of a daydreamy state of reverie, just sort of letting your conscious mind go into a dreamy, intuitive place and inviting those characters in and having some conversation with them and being open to whatever it is that they say, no matter how strange it seems to you. Keeping in mind that they tend to talk symbolically rather than literally. So that would be one way of doing it. Another would be to not only write about them and write a story where they appear just for your own benefit, but also letting them write. So one of the things I do when I write stories and now novels that have a character who recurs is I try to get into a state where that character appears clearly in my imagination, and then I ask them for their biography. So I did that a lot with Lucas, my protagonist. So he actually gave me a summary that was 4 or 5 pages long. He said, I was born here and this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. And, so you can get to know them that way, and you can interpret all that too on a symbolic level. So that would be another way of doing it. Using art. So I sketch my characters. Sometimes I put the sketches online, always with the understanding this is my version of the character. Yours will undoubtedly be different, which is great. That helps bring the characters alive. So setting them to music, that would be a good thing to do as well. Doing what playwrights do, the characters come to them, they write a play, the characters appear and they speak their piece. And writing your own little mini plays might be an example of that as well. Anything that helps you engage with those characters. And then looking at what they have to say on several levels, not while the conversation's actually going on, but afterwards, thinking, okay, what do they have for me personally? What do they have for me in terms of catching up with a way I can be in the world that I haven't tried out? What are they telling me about shifts in the world and in collective consciousness, things like that. So those are all different ways of working with these characters. I think the main thing, no matter how you do it, and there are a million ways to work creatively, it's work of the imagination, right? However you do it, the two attitudes I always recommend going in is, number one, take them seriously, and suspend the idea that this is just me making it up, because you'll quickly find that they make up their own ideas and their own feelings and values and perspectives. So, the question of where those come from is a whole different issue. But they do come from somewhere, and it's not your conscious mind. So the deeper in you go, the more you see that. The characters become more and more distinct and differentiated. So the first thing is to take them seriously. The second thing is to be open to what they have to tell you, to be open to what they suggest. That doesn't mean uncritically going along with it, because you have to bear in mind that each of these fictional characters are like the gods of mythology. They only see things in terms of their own perspective. So Mars doesn't understand love from Aphrodite's point of view, and vice versa. Zeus has his distant, far-off way of looking at things. Osiris looks at everything in terms of death and rebirth. They're all limited by an archetypal perspective. So it's up to us to get some kind of meaning out of the communication that we have with these figures. So don't ever just uncritically accept whatever they tell you. You're missing the whole point of the exercise, because then it's them commanding you instead of it being a dialogue. So. And then also you can ask them to show up in dreams. And sometimes a night or two might go by, and it takes them a while to get around to it. And sometimes they'll show up in other people's dreams too. Friends, family members, and so on. So there's my mini-series. Feel free to reach out to me with questions. I don't always catch them on social media, but chalkwist.com. I'm really easy to find. So take care.